Is it going to show me? Hello? I don't know why my thing isn't working. Why is it not turning on? Bit of difficulty. Trying to figure out why my camera isn't being picked up. When in all reality, it should be. Maybe go to the game. Let's put the music down. There we go. Alright, maybe. Oh, it's got a little cute little message. Oh. Wait, where's the message? Where'd it go? Oh, I can see you! Oh, that's so cute! Definitely not a red flag whatsoever. Okay, why isn't it showing up my camera? Do I not have enough light? I'm pretty sure that I have enough light. Let's put another one in here and we'll see if that works. Okay, now it works. That's rude. This should be covered. Okay, we will delete the other one because it's being a dick. Okay, anyway, let me play this little game that I found off of TikTok. Hey, look, he's so nice, so sweet. He's going to be the greatest flag I've met. Yes. My name's Haley. So, You're in here for DMs. I'm insane. We are not the same. She, her. I'm down. Let's see. We'll go down a bit. Haley, huh? Yeah. I can't wait to finally meet you, Angel. I'm not Angel, I'm Haley. He's already getting my name wrong. This is giving flashbacks. And in other news, the remains of yet another body has been pulled out from Lake Blue Moss, making it a total of 4 unidentifiable oh no, victims this past year. Authorities believe that. Ugh. Stifling a groan within the rim of my coffee cup, I fish around for the remote lodge between the cushions and turn off the TV. I wasn't about to let some morbid headline damper the start of my cheerful morning, especially considering how today was going to be my first day at work and after finally getting that hard-earned promotion. We share stacking and sorting through books at a library might not have been my dream job or even my first choice of places to work after moving back. But the pay was nice, my coworkers were friendly, and the building was located within the perfect walking distance of my apartment. There was even this adorable little bakery along the way that served the best shortcakes and croissants known to mankind, and the manager there always loved to hand out small freebies whenever I stopped by. It still beats living in the city though. Honestly, I wasn't even sure why I left my hometown in the first place. Great question. In the fast-paced hustle and bustle lifestyle of the city wasn't what I was longing for whenever I stared out of my window on sleepless nights. And the people there were always rude and indignant. Not the word, but I'm saying it like that. It was nothing like Corland Bay, where everyone felt like a close-knit family and the air smelled like sea rather than pollution. Okay, I see the type of girly we are. And sure, the local crime rate might be getting out of hand as of late, and there might be fewer things for me to do here. But my new job keeps me busy, and I prefer spending time alone at the beach over shady bars with people I barely consider friends. In fact, setting my mug onto the table, I reach into my pocket and pull out my phone. A notification from Moth, my online friend, pops up, so I tap the screen to read their message. What greets me is an adorable sticker of some anime character giving a thumbs up, as well as a short message that says "Good luck today" underneath. Mom had always been adamant. Oh my god, I can't fucking speak today. Adamant. Well, I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. That was a bustin'. Go back. Okay. Adamant about showing their endless support for me even after 5 years of friendship, cursed memes, and late night video calls. And even though I would... Let me make sure that I unmuted it. Okay, I unmuted it. Okay, everything's fine. Everything's good. I'd never admit it out loud. I was truly grateful to have someone like them in my life. Pulling up the keyboard, I began to type a response to their message. How will you respond? Say thank you, send back another sticker, reply later, send back a meme with 0 content. I would send back another sticker and say thank you. I would never leave somebody like that who is important to me on red, especially after they say good luck. I would reply immediately. Replying later just seems mean. And sending it back a meme with a 0 context normally is when I'm fucking like exhausted of humans. But that doesn't give me what Moth is. So when did I download that pack of anime stickers? Not that I was going to complain or anything. After all, they were free, charming, and included some of my favorite comfort characters. Without hesitating, I send back a sticker of a green-haired protagonist holding up a giant heart. I feel like that's Deku. A gray chat bubble pops up just as I hit the send button, indicating that Moth was typing another message. By the way, did you see the latest AOG app? I heard Hiroko got an outfit change! Spoil it for me. Did he really change his hairstyle as well? Or is it really just his soccer outfit? His sorcerer outfit? Soccer outfit, Haley. Fuck! Attack on Giants, or AOG as Moss likes to call it, is a popular anime series that we recently became obsessed with, and Hiroko is one of the main characters from the show. So Attack on Titan. He's a sorcerer known for the shy and airheaded demeanor, and as of late, his hairstyle has become a new trending topic within the community. Now that I thought about it, what hairstyle did Hiroko have in the latest episode? How will you respond? Hiroko's oh, I get to choose? Okay. It's mid-late. Oh, so it's relatively the same length then? You! I must have been looking at fake news or something. By the way, I don't mean to change the subject, but didn't you say last night that you were going to head to work at 8 a.m.? Because it's like almost 8:30 where you are right now, right? Or am I just dumb and got the time zones mixed up again? I understand that. Looking at the time displayed on my phone, I immediately let out a string of curses and leapt to my feet. Crap! Grabbing the coat that I had carelessly strewn across the back of the sofa earlier, I quickly shrugged it on before making a beeline towards the front door. Before I leave, however, I spare myself one final glance in the poorly hung mirror in the hallway. Hopefully, the outfit I chose was appropriate for my job. What style did you go for? Normally I either do casual or alternative, but she says that she's going to work. So I would have done something maybe professional. I don't know what she works as. It sounds something like high up. So I would do professional. Perhaps it's because I'm still impress my colleagues' face, but sometimes it's just best to wear something appropriate for my job. See? It's appropriate. Tugging at the iron-out collar of my blazer, I give myself a small spin in the mirror to make sure everything was in the right place. But enough of that, I can check myself out another time. Hastily, I smooth out the wrinkles and pick off any stray pieces of lint on my sleeves before I finally head out the front door. Oh shoot. And almost catch my coat on the door handle in the process. Me. With a grumble, I tug at the fabric of my coat before slamming the door shut with a little bit too much force than necessary. Even trying to insert my key came with a bit of struggle, and I had to fight the urge to yell in frustration as I attempted to lock my door. Seriously, when will that lazy bum of a landlord do something about this? I swear I've complained about this for at least 4 times this month. Oh hey there, Haley, you looking good. My neighbor Violet practically beams at me when she fishes through her pockets for her own apartment key. Resting on her hip was yet another potted plant, and I found myself wondering where she was going to put it this time. I was almost entirely convinced that her whole apartment had turned into a greenhouse at this point, considering how her balcony was practically filled to the brim with all different kinds of plants, greenery, and other kinds of flora. I enjoyed that. But I wasn't about to complain or anything. The fragrance that wafted in with the wind always smelled floral and earthy, and it did well to mask the smell of smoke and burnt food whenever I tried to cook. Love the shoes, by the way. The color really complements your aura this morning. Aww, she's so cute. You'll have to let me peek inside your closet someday. I've been looking for some new inspiration lately, especially with winter right around the corner. I'm getting excited just thinking about it. Oh, Back to you. I wonder what the symbol does. Oh. Stop inferring with my my house spouse era. Don't at me. Or I can type something here. What should I type? Stop interfering with my walks, Tio. Oh, Angel X Heriko. Oh! Obviously she loves it. Heriko's spouse? I love this. This is so cute. Okay. What should I type? Oh. Rude. Why did you do that? Why did you display right here? Thank you. Oh, but I can't type anything now. Hi. Oh no. Why is it not doing it? Oh, okay. Well, I skipped that on accident. I didn't mean to do that. I wanted to type this. Click to edit your profile. Angel Heriko. I actually really liked it like that. I think that's how I spelled it. Yeah, Haruko. Haruko. Okay. I can't type it. Okay, well, I guess it'll just be blank for right now. What should I do? Updates every 3 to 5 hours. Well, Violet was extra chirpy this morning. I wonder if she'd let me borrow some of that energy someday. In response, I shoot my neighbor a grin of my own, and it was apparently enough to brighten her mood even more than it was already. How will you respond? It's nice to see you again. Yeah, it's nice to see you too. I usually see still be at the flower shop at this time, so it's nice to finally be able to catch up with you like this, especially when our schedules align. Speaking of, you should stop by my place the next time you're free. I'd love to introduce you to this little guy's family. Oh, she's so sweet. Oh, I almost forgot. I've been meaning to ask you this, but when were you going to tell me that you were seeing someone? Huh? A knowing look pulls at her features as Violet continues to fiddle with the lock on her door. What are you talking about? Come on! Don't act like you didn't just have a guy over last night. I saw him leaving when I took Kathy out for a walk. I'd be more worried about my neighbor taking her plants, named plants, out on a walk at night. But the thought of someone leaving my apartment, seemed to set off way more alarm bells. I gave Violet a concerning look, and she picks up on it almost immediately. You don't remember? Don't tell me you were drunk or something! With a huff, she gives up on trying to unlock her door. It seemed as though we both shared the same problem with our apartment locks, and places her potted plant on the ground before slowly making her way towards me. This isn't a potted plant. This is just a plant. Tall guy? Wearing a dark slasher hoodie? Really into alternative fashion with a crazy amount of belts and loops wrapped around his leg? Ring any bells? No. Last night I was just catching up on some TV shows and talking with my friend. No one came here. Even if they did, I would have heard them. My place isn't really that big anyway. Really? But I was so sure it was your door. hand rests on her cheek in a thinking manner before she pouts at me, seemingly giving in for now. Well, alright then. Maybe it was somebody else's apartment? I mean, it's always so dark in these hallways at night. Honestly, what is our landlord doing? Would you mind if I check in with security downstairs? It gives me some peace of mind. Yeah, that's fine. Alright then. Thank you, Haley. Well, I gotta go. I got some plants to water and some mimosa right in, so... Violet lets out one last puff before she picks up her plant. What did she name this one again? And goes back to unlocking her door. Good luck, I guess, even if it was kind of awkward. Yeah, sure. See you later. Bye. Slipping past my neighbor and into the cramped hallway, I quickly make it for the stairs. When will they fix the broken elevator and break into a slight jog? Thankfully, the weather was rather cold today, and the shoes I already chose weren't going to leave me any blisters by the time I reach the library. Does she work at a library? Oh, oops. The melodic chimes alert the woman at the reception desk of my arrival, and I watch as she tucks a strand of stray blonde hair behind her ear as she turns around to greet me. Good morning, Eleanor. Oh! She looks surprised for some reason before her expression morphs into a soft smile, and she beckons me to come closer with a nod of her head. Eleanor is one of my coworkers here at Corlin Bay Library, and one of the very few people here who actually gets the work done. And although she's notorious for being rather scatterbrained, she more than makes up for it with her caring nature, doting attitude towards everybody. But her nurturing personality can get rather overbearing at times, and I often find myself having to step away to get some breathing room. Nevertheless, she's charming to work with, and I appreciate her always looking out for me. After all, who knows what my sleeping schedule would have looked like without her help. Haley, just on time. I printed your... Wait, where did I... Her expression turns into a slight panic as she spins her heels, and I slightly watch with amusement as she shuffles through the various books and stacks of paper lining her desk. Where did I leave it? Ah, there it is. Spinning around once more, Eleanor comes back with her hands and hands me a sheet of paper with the word schedule, printed in big, bold letters. I take it from her grasp and give her the sheet a once-over. Well, it looks like I'm going to be busy for the next few weeks, but I guess Eleanor doesn't seem to share the same disdain as me, judging from the playful look plastered on her face. So, how does it feel no longer being the one in charge of stacking books all day long? I say as I grab water. Ah! It's a lot of reading. I didn't know this was going to be a lot of reading. Although you'll still have to look to work from the front desk from time to time, though, unfortunately. I offer a weak smile at her words before rounding the corner and placing my bag under the desk. As I begin to pull out some of my belongings, the front door chimes again, letting everyone know that another patron has come in. Figuring Eleanor has it all covered, I leave the customer to her and go back to preparing everything for the day. As I turn around to check on her, I notice she already finished greeting the customer, and I was on her way back to her own desk across from mine. As if sensing my gaze, she spins around in her office chair and flashes me a teasing grin. Looks like he's back again! Eleanor gives me a soft chuckle as she inclines her head in the direction of the person she was talking about. You know that new guy? I don't know when he started showing up here in the Bay, but he always comes in and rents out the books you recommend on the display window. And if I didn't know any better, I'd say he has a little crush on you. Especially with that outfit. I don't know about him, but I think that blazer looks great on you. Thanks. I didn't know it was a library, or else I would have had her address alternative. Snorting, I push Eleanor's office chair so that she's facing the other way and focus my attention back to the papers in front of me. What was with everyone today? Always smiling, gossiping about other people, and meddling in business that wasn't their own. It was bad enough that I had to deal with potential intruder, but I doubt my deadbeat landlord was going to do anything about it. I need to buy a stronger lock on my way home from work. Maybe even some kind of alarm system? But would the stores be still open by then? All of a sudden, I get pulled back as Eleanor playfully wheels my chair around and leans over my shoulder to softly speak in my ear. Would you look at that? Lover boy in aisle 8 needs some help, it seems. She nods in the direction of the red light flashing above the bookshelf, signaling to the staff that someone in the row needed assistance. With a sigh, I reluctantly stand up and make my way over. I already knew for the fact that Eleanor wasn't going to get up to help them herself, so I begrudgingly begin to make my way towards aisle 8 alone. I knew better than to glance back at her, though, knowing full well that my teasing coworker would be sporting the biggest grin on her face at my misfortune. Ducking around the corner and into the aisle, I was immediately met with a broad backside that was covered by what had to be the comfiest looking cardigan I've ever seen. The person whom it belonged to, however, hadn't seemed to notice me yet, so I awkwardly cleared my throat and absentmindedly shifted my weight from one foot to the other. Ahem. Ah! He seemed to jump at the sudden noise before sheepishly turning around to face me. Immediately, I was taken aback by his soft demeanor, doe-like eyes, and imposing height. That does look like a really comfortable cardigan. The haircut's neat. This was the guy who had always rented out my recommended books on the display window, huh? He definitely fit the aesthetic of a cozy literature lover needing a good book. His pink hair also reminded me of Hariko, an anime character I had recently been obsessing over with Moss during our late night video calls. In fact, even the overhaul cut and style appeared vaguely similar to his. But then again, the hairstyle could have been trending right now or something. I just so happened to be the last to know about it. But now I really had a good look at him, which proved difficult considering his towering height. The strangers also seemed to bear a near picture-perfect resemblance to the male lead from this webcomic I was reading. It was called Always With You, and it involved the main character meeting the love of her life at a... As if noticing my spaced-out look, the stranger absent-mindedly scratches his jaw while he waits for me to snap out of my thoughts. In fact, I had been so distracted that I didn't even realize that he had been muttering quietly to himself. I wasn't expecting you to show up so soon. Sorry, I hope I'm not bothering you. I was just looking for his voice pulls me back to the present, and I hastily try to make sense of what was spilling from his cherry-tinted lips. Watching him struggle from his words would have made anyone feel bad, so I offer him a reassuring smile in return, and an encouraging nod of my head. At that, he takes a steady inhale of air before trying again. I need some help. I'm looking for a specific book, and now he's playing with the ends of his sleeve. I felt a certain urge to reach out and stop him. Did I find that action annoying, endearing, relatable? Who knows? Endearing and relatable. That's what you felt. Who knows? But instead I held back and waited for him to find words to speak. But wow, even his mannerisms were eerily similar to Hariko's. The endearing awkwardness of the sleeve tugging gave me a sense of deja vu, and it honestly felt like he walked straight out of the anime into this very library. Man, Moth is going to freak when I tell them about this later. The stranger in front of me takes in another shaky inhale before he tries to speak once more, this time with a lot more confidence in his tone and a fire in his eye. Do you have any books on native flora? The best I've found are on generic wildlife, but nothing about Corlin Bay's lands. Or maybe I'm just in the wrong aisle? He was looking for a book about native flora. Perhaps I should introduce him to Violet. And chuckling into myself at the thought, I stepped closer to the tall man and began scanning the contents of the shelf beside him. He almost seemed to flinch at a sudden closeness between us, but showed no sign of moving away. In fact, he seemed to almost lean closer and incline his head towards mine. And had I not been too preoccupied in finding that book, I would have noticed how his breath hitches in his throat as my scent floods his senses. No, you're definitely in the right aisle. Those kinds of books are just more hidden, I guess. I step past him this time and make my way over to the lower part of his shelves. Absent-mindedly, I run a finger against the spines of each book until I come into the contact with one book in particular. Then bending over slightly, I pull the book off from the shelf and give the cover a once-over before offering it to the man behind me. Is this what you were looking for? Too preoccupied with a misplaced book on the bookshelf, who brings cookbooks to nature aisle, I barely noticed how his blue eyes trail across my form before landing on the book held out in my outstretched hand. Was it just me, or did he have a certain glint in his eyes? No, that's not what I meant. He definitely has a sort of glint in his eyes, interestingly enough. Was this book really that interesting, or perhaps this tall stranger was just really into nature? Well, not that it mattered, because he was already taking a tentative step forward and revealing more of his hands from the depths of his long sleeves. With shaky fingers, I watch as the stranger reaches out and takes it from my grasp. He flips through a few pages to take in the contents before finally settling on the book within a firm nod. Yes, this is exactly what I was looking for. Thank you. I'm glad. You're like an angel sent down from heaven or something. You're so helpful. Kind too. What? What? Oh, I didn't. Did I say that out loud? I didn't mean to. That must have been so weird. I'm so sorry. This guy's a weird flag. He's cute. He's adorable. But he's giving me the red flag vibes. He looked as though he was about to cry now, so I hastily threw up my hands in a comforting manner and shot him a reassuring smile. Hey, it's fine. No need to freak out. I just wasn't expecting someone to say that about me is all. But really? I think it's true for what it's worth. You're really like an angel. Thanks. Figuring that was my cue to leave before things got awkward, I give him one last friendly smile and subtly look. Whatever. Glance back towards that in front desk, but the eccentric man showed no signs of moving. Instead, he just looked at me expectantly. Did he want to continue the conversation? It seemed unlikely, as he didn't say anything. He just simply stared at me. Awkwardly, I cleared my throat for what I had to be the millionth time today and gestured vaguely to the reception desk behind me. Well, if you don't need any more help, I should. This is just getting weird now. Should I even attempt to continue this conversation or just leave? I mean, it would seem rude to just walk away abruptly, especially considering how he's apparently a regular patron in the library I worked at. But he's not making much of an effort either, so what should I do? How will you respond? I would keep talking to him. Knowing me, I know what you should do, is lie and end the conversation or politely excuse yourself and leave. But I would keep talking to him. So, do you come here often? Seriously, Haley. Seriously, Haley, that was the best thing that you could come up with. Damn it. Now he thinks I'm the weird one. Yeah, actually, I like visiting whenever I have some free time. Although I usually end up coming here just to hide away in a corner somewhere and look at your book collection. Oh no! You have a lot of interesting books here. Lots of books. Yeah, I mean it is a library after all. But sure, whatever you say, mister. Actually, now that I think about it, you haven't told me your name yet. Oh, I guess you're right. You can call me Redacted. What? It was like he said something, but his voice was delayed. Is that even his voice? Was he speaking English? It almost felt like something that came out of a dream. How did he do that? Do what? Anyway, you can just call me Ren if you like. Is it alright if I call you Haley? Although Angel does suit you just as well, in my personal opinion at least. Seriously, what the hell just happened? Was I imagining things? And was he really flirting with me right now? Are you okay? Yeah, I think, but how did you know my name? I don't remember you telling you. Silly, it's on your name tag. As if to prove a point, Ren reaches out to gently flick the name tag, so I somehow forgot that I had put on this morning. Oh. Haley is a cute name though. No, it's not. It's really not. And it's really, really, really fun to say, especially over and over again. Eyebrows. I'm gonna say this quietly and steadily. Eyebrows. Right. Anyway. There, are you busy later? I'd love to thank you for helping me find this book. Seriously, what was up with this guy? One minute he's shy, and then next he's bold. It's like, it was almost like he was putting up several fronts to see which one I responded to better. Actually, I'll be busy this afternoon. Don't tell these people this! I need to buy a new lock for my apartment. Don't tell somebody that! Not a new person at the least. A new lock. That doesn't sound good. Can I ask why? I guess it wouldn't hurt to... No! I guess it wouldn't hurt to tell him. I mean, what was he going to do? Personally show up at my front door and test a new lock for himself? Yes. Apparently, someone broke into my apartment last night and I didn't notice. I don't think that I stole anything, but it's still creepy. I figured it's better to be safe than sorry, you know? Yeah, but it sounds like instead of a lock, you just need to jump the scumbag when they least expect it and beat them up. Show them a lesson. Stay up all night if you have to. Really get the edge on them. Yeah. I couldn't help but let in a genuine chuckle at his suggestion. If I had to choose, then this would have to be the side of him that I preferred. He seemed at ease, and his words weren't as forced or awkward. Yeah, and who's gonna be the guy up at 3 a.m. Because last I checked, I'm not really the type to go around throwing punches at people I don't know, and definitely not before the sun is up and shining. I could do it for you. You? But I mean, we don't even know each other that well, and that's fine. I could tell you all about myself on the walk there. My whole life story and everything. Where I was born, the school I went to, how many cute librarians I met. That was smooth. Which happens to be one so far. That was smooth. Before I could even commit comment on his sudden confidence, Ren seems to pick up on my discomfort at his last choice of words. It wasn't even discomfort that I was feeling, and hastily backtracked. I was just messing around. I didn't mean to feel uncomfortable. There it was again, a subtle shift in his personality. But now that he mentioned it, would it really hurt to invite him to my place for the night? Yes! Yes, it would! It would, ma'am. You don't know him! He definitely looked like he could handle himself in a fight, his contrasting outfit aside, so maybe it wasn't bad of an idea? How will you start? I don't want to invite him over. But at the same time, I'm curious. I'm really curious. Like, I want to know what happens if I invite him over. It's not a good idea. Don't do this. Actually, you know what? Would you mind coming over and staying the night? I feel a bit safer knowing someone else was around. I did not think that she was going to let him sleep with her. In his house. In her house. Oh, you actually want me to come over? I mean, yeah, sure, definitely. He seems a bit too eager for this. It's not too much trouble, I guess. Where is she? Haley! Ah! There you are. Someone at the front desk is looking for you, and... Oh, sorry, are you busy right now? I can... Impeccable timing as always, Eleanor. No, it's fine. I think everything is handled here, right? I give the two of them a soft smile before making my way towards the reception desk. But as I pass Eleanor, I gently clasp her hand on her shoulder and shoot her a playful look on my own. If you need any more help, I'm sure Eleanor here can assist you. She loves helping others, right? As I turn to leave, I barely miss the way Ren's eyes zone in on my hand resting on Eleanor's shoulder. Oh, he's angry. Hours seem to pass by in a blur, and soon enough I find myself resting in the employees' lounge. My mind drifts back to the guy from earlier. I couldn't help but wonder what happened to him afterwards. Did he run out the book I offered? What about my recommended novel of the week? Ren is surely strange, to say the least. But I had to admit, he did seem kind of cute with his oversized cardigan and timid demeanor. He still gave me off-putting vibes though, especially with his ever-changing personality, and if I had to be completely honest, that shy, timid persona he displayed felt rather forced to me. It's almost as if he saw it on TV, something, and wanted to try it out himself. And I just happened to be one of his first victims. But who was I to call him out for it? That was his business if he wanted to act shy and demure. Shy and demure. That's a word. Haley? Everything alright? It's not often I see you here at this time. Hey! I don't know you! Conan, my boss. I do know him! Startles me as he suddenly appears in the entranceway. Everyone saw him as some kind of blessing to his institution, because the moment he showed up, all forms of trouble seemed to disappear overnight. Those low-life teens started causing chaos everywhere, and the rumored gangs became few and far between. At first sight, he might have been linked with these criminals because of his intimidating gaze and facial scars, but I got to know him better and found out that he held a massive soft spot for those dear to him. So, much like Eleanor, Conan felt more like a father figure than with how much he fretted over his staff and their well-being. I mean, he literally installed a new air conditioner and a water dispenser last week because one of his employees fainted due to a heat stroke. That's just a nice fucking boss. It wasn't anything too major, but it was nice to know that our boss was considerate enough about the people he hired. I doubt I could say the same about my old job in the city. Tony was also nice to chat whenever I went on my breaks, and would always encourage me to take as much time as I needed before I returned to my desk. But after realizing that I had once again been spacing out, I pulled myself away from my thoughts and turned to offer my boss an acknowledging smile. Yeah, I'm fine, just taking a short break. I'll be out there soon. Take as long as you need. Don't overwork yourself. Aw, he seems hesitant to leave. If the way he was shifting from one foot to the other was any indication, he shoots me a concerned look before opening his mouth, only to close it once more in contemplation. Have you seen Eleanor? I asked her to come see me regarding the unsorted novels in the storeroom, but she's yet to show up. Eleanor? I saw her. Last I saw her, she was talking to one of our patrons in aisle 8. Maybe she's still there? I'll have to check again then. Thank you. With that, he disappeared just as quietly as he came. But that was odd. It wasn't like Eleanor to suddenly go missing. Was she still occupied with Red? It's been a while, so I figured she would have finished helping him and left by now. I'm going. This is a lot of reading. Talking. I don't think she's talking. Oh well, I'm sure she'll turn up sooner or later. Ren didn't seem much like a talkative person anyway. Jeez, why did my thoughts keep returning to the eccentric man? Deciding that I wasn't going to waste my time thinking about any more pink-haired guys, my beloved Haruko aside, I get up from the lounge and meander my way back towards the front desk again. But once I arrive, I immediately notice that my chatty coworker was still nowhere to be found. It was like my boss had said, Eleanor wasn't anywhere to be seen, and it wasn't like her to leave the reception desk unattended for so long. Maybe she managed to knock over a pile of books again and was busy cleaning it up. It certainly wouldn't have anything to do out of the ordinary for her. Well, whatever. I'm sure she'll turn up again soon. The impact of me plopping down on my office chair causes some of the papers around me to rustle, and the bright pinky sticky note fluttering around captures my attention. Assuming it was left here by Eleanor, I peel the folded note on my computer screen and read it. Angel. Unfolding it read the following. I'll wait for you after work, but if you change your mind about our deal, just keep walking. I'll take the hint, don't worry. The stuttering guy from aisle 8, heart. That's cute. The stuttering guy from aisle 8. I couldn't help but crack a smile at the name Bren chose for himself. Before I could allow Eleanor the chance to manifest behind me to tease me to kingdom come, I pocket the note and go back to sorting through the stack of returned books on the left desk. True to his word, I caught a glimpse of Ren patiently waiting for me on one of the benches as I pack up for the day and leave the library. From afar, he looked like an oversized puppy, waiting for his owner to return from work, and admittedly, I found it rather cute. That is adorable! Especially how his figurative tail started to wag upon my arrival. That's adorable! Ren seems all too happy to see me, but before I could call him out on it, he offers me a bottle of water that I assumed he bought from one of the convenience stores down the street. That's cute! worked hard today. Now you can finally rest, huh? He's looking down at me with a glimmer of expectancy in his eyes, so I hesitantly take up the bottle of water from his grasp and give him a affirmative nod of my head. But thanks. Ah! No problem. Did you want to head off now, or do you want to rest for a bit? I mean, you were standing a lot today. He seems almost lost in his thoughts now, and I wonder how he knew what I'd been doing all day. After all, I figured he'd left after he found that book, but maybe stayed a little bit longer to read it. Oh, no, I'm fine, but do you think we could make a quick detour on the way? I still need to... Haley! Heyo! I could recognize those boisterous voices anywhere. The first one belonged to Jae-hun, a guy I met during my early days at university. He sat next to me during the first few days of orientation, and even offered to lend me his phone charger when my battery started to run out. He's a fun guy to be around, though his extroverted and energetic personality was often hard to keep up with. But Leon, the other awkwardly hanging off of Jay's arm, was a different story. We'd practically known each other since we were babies, but he moved away from Cortland Bay when we were still in elementary school. I wasn't sure when he moved back to Bay, but it was great knowing I'd be able to see him again. I just wished I could find the time to hang out with him just like we used to, but I was always busy with work, and he was always busy playing volleyball and taking care of his sick mother in the hospital. Before I knew it, I was being pulled out of my thoughts by Jay's bubbly laughter. Hey, still with us? Hey, Haley, I finally finished with work? Oh, who's this? He was so angry! He was angry! This is Ren. We actually met at work today. Maybe it wasn't a good idea to tell Leon, the human personification of overprotective, that I just met the man today. What would he think if he found out I was bringing home a complete stranger? He usually rents out my recommended books at the library. Anyway, Leon, Jay, this is Ren. Ren, this is Leon and Jay. Unfortunately, these guys are my friends. It's truly unfortunate to know a handsome bloke such as myself. You're not, but okay. Leon dramatically clutches the spot above his heart as he leans farther into Jay's shoulder. So you're Ren. You're new here. I like to think I know everyone here in the Bay, but it seems you've proven me wrong. Yeah, I recently moved here a couple of months ago. Oh, same as Haley? I'm pretty sure she moved back here 2 months ago, right? Leon looks at me for confirmation, and I meekly nod my head. Strange how I've only been back here for 2 months, and I've yet to find enough time to catch up with all my friends. Oh, what a coincidence! Anyway, talking about moving is boring. Do you guys want to hang out with us? I barely noticed the way Ren shoved... Aw, he's so angry! Ren gets shoved to the side by Jay, intentional or not, nor could I make out that scowl on his face as soon as the excitable man leads into a little too close to my personal bubble. We were just about to head over to the club Shoreline. Do you want to come? I'm sure Leon wouldn't mind paying for you as well. Oi! I don't mind paying for her, but who said anything about paying for you? I did just now. Thanks, Leon! You're the best! I don't miss the way Leon rolls his eyes at Jay's antics before settling his gaze onto me once more. Do you want to tag along? I really don't mind paying if you do. Sorry guys, I've actually already made plans. Do these plans have anything to do with this Lakeview fellow? My name is Ren. Actually, yeah, I promised that I'd hang out with him today. Aw, he can come on clubbing with us too. The more the merrier. I'd rather not. I would rather not too. Sorry, maybe some other time. I'm kind of drained from work anyway, so. Hey, no worries, Darl. Oh, Darl? Darl's cute. Just make sure you take it easy when you get back home, yeah? He shoots me a considerate smile before throwing an arm over Jay's shoulder. Well then, if you'll excuse us, I gotta find a way to get this knucklehead to cover his own entry fees. We can all catch up another time, okay? I like her friends. Her friends are great. Like, her friends are really great. This is funny. And if you need help with anything, just give me a ring, yeah? I'll watch my phone like a hawk tonight. It was nice catching up with you again, doll. I keep on saying doll in like the most country way. And nice meeting you too, Ron. Ren. As they leave, I notice how Leon looks Ren up and down, almost as if he's siding him up. But Jay, like always, ignores the mood and thumps Leon on the back to encourage him to walk faster. As I watch both throw a carefree wave over their shoulders as they both head off in the direction of the nightclub a few blocks down the street. So that wasn't awkward at all. I turn to look at Ren, but his eyes seem to be more fixated on those two retreating figures. He doesn't seem to snap out of it, so I gently call out his name again. Oh, sorry. Do you want to head back home now? In the end, we made a quick detour to the local locksmith before heading back to my apartment. Oh, this is interesting. Very interesting. So this is my place. You'll have to excuse the mess. I wasn't expecting to have anyone over. Hey, don't worry about it. I know you're not a messy person. I mean, from what I can tell, you don't seem the type. Yeah? Well, I hope you can still keep that image of me after you see the state of my place. His soft laughter echoes down the hallway and almost drowns out the sound of my neighbor opening her door. Oh! He's so angry! Such an angry boy. Violet almost seems embarrassed as she jumps behind her door, clearly not expecting someone to be around this time. She brushes it off with a soft smile and steps outside. Hello again, Haley. We seem to be bumping into each other a lot today, huh? Oh, who's this? How do I explain to my neighbor that Ren wasn't just some guy I had just met at work today? I'm certain she'd chew me out for bringing home a complete stranger, but still, he didn't exactly seem like the type to murder me in my sleep. Do you see him? He doesn't seem like it, but I can see these. There's a tattoo under here. I can see that. But not just that, he's too soft to not murder me. In fact, he seemed more like the type of guy to ask me to return his order because he asked for no pickles or something. He does definitely seem like that type of person. Yes, and I would do it thankfully. Not thankfully, I would do it graciously. I'm Ren. Immediately, a large frame blocks my view as he steps in front of my neighbor and me, almost as if he wanted to put as much distance between us as possible. One of his hands shoots out from the inside of his pockets, and he gruffly offers it to Violet for her to shake. Concerned about his abrupt actions, I sidestep him and look to gauge his expression. I'm a friend of Haley's. I see. I haven't seen you around before, though. Are you new to the area? Relax, Vi. He's not a serial killer or anything. I sure hope he wasn't, and did I feel a sudden urge to defend him? It wasn't like I could confidently say that he was some holy being that flew down from heaven or something. Maybe he was the one who needed to be called Angel instead. Well, it didn't really matter. Really, Ren actually offered to stay at my place for the night in case that creep decides to come back. Oh, well, I mean, he certainly has the height for it. I get that a lot. But don't worry, she's safe in my family. Well, alright then. A friend of Haley's is a friend of mine. But I have my eye on you, Mr. Totally Not a Serial Killer. She whispers the next part to Ren under her breath, but clearly had the intention of letting me hear it as well. Just remember that I know what you look like now, so don't complain if you see your face plastered all over milk cartons soon enough. Well, alrighty, you two enjoy your night, and no funny business, you two. I'm off for my walk now. Toodles! Ignore her, please. Alright. Okay, but I gotta ask, was she holding how to play it on a walk? Yes, she was. Okay. Dropping my keys into a bowl, I shrug out of my coat and drape it over one of the chairs near the entrance. Well, make yourself at home. Turning to Ren, I watch as he awkwardly shuffles in the hallway, almost uncertain if he should come inside or not. He moves to take off his shoes, and I watch in awe as he neatly stacks them next to the umbrella stack. Oh, are you the type to leave your shoes on at home? Sorry, No, you're fine! Doesn't he need to change clothes if he's sleeping over? Or is he going to be wearing my clothes? Because, like, he's too tall to wear my clothes. He's really adorable. But now that he was here, I wasn't quite sure what to do next. Usually I'd pop on a TV show or some anime while I would chow down on some takeaway food, or even just talk with Moth until some unreasonable hour in the morning. But now that I had company over, I wasn't quite sure what to do. I don't even know what Ren liked to do in his free time. Turning to face the pink-haired man once more, I almost jumped back in fright. Clearly, I wasn't expecting him to get this close to me while I was lost in thought. I can almost feel the heat radiating from his large frame, and I feel the small huff of his air leave his nostrils as he shyly looks down on me. Oh, so, breathe, Haley, breathe. Was there anything you wanted to do, or because I usually just, dang it was so hard to think straight when he was standing so close to me and wafting his stupidly strong scent of mint and fresh linen over in my direction. Why was I even so attentive to the way Ren smelled? Wow, I'm beginning to sound like a creep. Nah, I don't really have anything I need to do. You can just go about your normal routine if you want. I'll try to not get in your way. Or just put me in a corner somewhere and I'll pretend I'm not here. Or there. Whatever works for you. No offense, but you would take too much room. You take up much more room than you think. So I doubt that would work. Touché. Once again, I found myself being drawn in by his soft laughter, and I couldn't help but chuckle along with him. Was it always this easy talking to him? It was like we were childhood friends reminiscing about the old times or something. Except the only one making it awkward was me. Glancing back at Ren, I noticed how he's still looking at me with those expectant eyes as he looms over me in the entryway. He obviously didn't know what to do. He obviously didn't want to do something I'd be uncomfortable with, and he couldn't really suggest anything since this wasn't his home, so I guess the choice was up to me after all. How to use front on. Watch some television, make a late night snack, suggest get ready for bed, ask him to leave. There's no point in asking him to leave right now. Make a late night snack. Are you hungry? I think I've got some leftover takeaways still in the fridge that I can heat up. Or we can raid my pantry for some snacks if you prefer. Is that okay? I don't want to be a bother. No, not at all. I'm feeling peckish anyway. Well, alright then. Settling onto the couch with some microwave food and snacks, Ren and I then decided to watch something to watch. There wasn't much on TV at this time besides some B-list horror flick, and to my surprise I find out Ren actually liked those types of movies. Or at least he seems to enjoy it, with the way he was hunched over in his seat, gazed intently staring at the screen as a hunt sequence begins. music. But I suppose I couldn't understand the intrigue, seeing as once I glanced back at the television, I found myself completely entrapped by the suspense of and overall cheering atmosphere of it all. The killer was chasing down his victim now, and I watched it with bated breath as he stalks his way towards the door, cutting off the glow of light from underneath the doorframe. Almost smugly, he knew exactly where his victim was hiding. The masked killer on the door before knocks on the door before letting himself in. He walks with heavy footsteps towards the edge of the bed before ever so slowly bending down, lifting the quilt up, raising his axe and ah! Ah! It wasn't a jump scare that got me, but rather Ren's abrupt yelp, clenching my shirt where my rapid heartbeat thrummed against my chest. I spare a glance at the lanky man with fleeting anger in my eyes. Sorry, I really didn't think I didn't think a cheap jump scare like that would get me. And here I thought you enjoyed watching these kinds of films. I do. I guess I wasn't paying too much attention at the time. See, in fact, I didn't. In fact, see. We can change the movie if you'd like. You don't have to watch it because of me. I know you prefer watching anime anyway. Nah, I didn't. I don't mind watching some scary movies. Huh? How did you know I liked anime? That side of me wasn't something I'd go around telling attractive strangers, and I'd certainly remember if I told it to Red. I saw one of your posters in your wall when we came in. Attack on Giants or something, I think? Oh, right. Forgot I hung that up when I first moved into my apartment, but I'm surprised that he had noticed it from all the way into the lounge room. But shouldn't it be dark by now in that hallway? It's not like there were any windows to let in the moonlight, and I hadn't turned on the light yet. I actually like that anime too. I recently started watching it because, well, I thought it looked interesting. He watches Attack on Giant. Well, now that I thought about it, it definitely makes a lot of sense. He definitely gave off Haruka vibes, and oddly specific hairstyle and timid personality were proof of that. And again, it really might have been a coincidence after all, but there was no harm in asking him, right? Is that why you styled your hair like that? Because it honestly reminds me of one of those characters from it. He's one of my favorite characters, actually. Do you know him, Haruka? He's a sorcerer who... Come on, Haley. Tone it down. This wasn't Moth you were gushing to. No need to see this cringy side of you, although looking at Ren, he did seem to be interested in what you had to say. But then again, he was probably just being nice. This is my brain. This is my brain. Maybe it is just a trending haircut or something. Sorry. I like Haruka too. He's very timid and sweet, isn't he? I guess that's why he's fan favorite, huh? Do you normally go for guys like him? There's that switch in personality again. Was he always like this? I was beginning to think that it was more than just an act he was putting on. He's your type, right? Actually, I get a weird sense of deja vu from his words. I found myself thinking back to the time when Moth asked me the very same question. Now that I thought about it, Ren definitely fit the description I gave him. He had Haruka's looks and personality, but also liked to dress in that cozy, soft academia aesthetic that I liked. My interests were ever changing and dependent on my hyperfixation, so I couldn't say for certain that he was my type. As if noticing my far-off stare, Ren blinks the silence breaks the silence by talking once more. Oh, you asked about my hair, right? I guess it does have something to do with Hariko, but at the same time, not really. I chose this hairstyle because of other reasons. Well, that was certainly ominous. But before I could ask, I watched as Aren subtly tries to mask a yawn by turning his head to the side while covering his mouth. It was endearing how he tried to pass it off as he was simply trying to look around the room, but I knew better. Tired? I can go get your bed set up if you now if you'd like. Just give me a second to pull out the air mattress. It's fine, I don't want to be bothered. I can just sleep on the floor or something. I really don't mind, honest. You can sleep on the couch. Oops, I did not mean to do that. You can sleep on the couch. Like, that looks like a really comfy couch. But I have timber flooring. Seriously, don't worry about it. It will just be 2 seconds. I get up from my spot up on the couch and make a beeline for my closet before he can respond. And yet, I barely got 3 meters away before I could hear the heavy telltale footsteps of Ren following close behind me once more. Almost felt like a lost puppy. Honestly, it was kind of cute. Shaking my head to dismiss those thoughts, I pull out my trusty air mattress from the closet and begin setting it up in the lounge room. That is, until I found out that it had a massive gaping hole on the side. Dang it, those damn rats, I swear. If I had the chance to move apartments, I'd take it in a heartbeat. But until then, I'll continue to send a complaint after complaint, that good-for-nothing landlord. Really, I don't mind sleeping on the floor. And like I said, I have uncomfortable timber flooring. Unless... Oh. He's not sleeping in our bed. He's not... He's cute. You can sleep on my couch. At least it had a somewhat mindful option. Because that would have been why didn't I think of that sooner? But no, I just had to go and embarrass myself by attempting to get a blow-up air mattress, only to find out that it has holes in it because of rats. I'm going to be known as the rat girl now, and I'll never be able to show my face. Yeah, the couch is fine, but I really don't mind sleeping on the floor, honest. Oh, he doesn't seem phased about the rats after all. No, it's okay. I'm the one who asked you to do this favor in the first place, so I owe you. Interesting. Oops. After setting up some blankets and a few extra pillows for my room, I should run the way to the bathroom in case he needed to go and bid him good night. It was like my feet were on autopilot as soon as I returned to my room. Silently shutting the door, I awkwardly looked around my room as if I was the guest in my own house. It didn't feel awkward per se, but knowing that I had brought home a complete stranger still didn't sit right for me. But still, Ren showed no signs of wanting to murder me in my sleep. Violet did meet him before he came inside. So maybe this wasn't so much of a bad idea after all. I somehow felt safe in his presence, and even though we had just met, I felt like I could trust Ren enough to leave him unattended in my lounge room. With that thought in mind, I slowly slipped underneath the covers of my bed sheets and eventually began to drift off. So Ren, huh? I wonder what tomorrow will bring. Would you like to save your progress? Yes. Oh. Oh god, oh gee god, oh boy, oh my god. I'm not me without my coffee. My wallet is crying, ohs. Missing wallet. I invited a stranger. Oh, he'll see it. Haruko is my husband. F you Moss. So wait, this guy is he's got almost a full heart. What does he mean? Is his name Light? And they're right here. Imagine paying to get into a club. No, violets are not blue. You tell him bye. Waking up to the sounds of birds chirping outside and the sunlight filtering through my blinds, I groggily rub my eyes before absent-mindedly staring at the ceiling for a few moments. A lot had occurred last night, and I still needed to process most of it. So the main thing that plagued my mind was the stranger I let into my apartment last night. Is he still here? Slipping out of my bed, I smoothed out the wrinkles in my pajamas to make myself look presentable before making my way out into a hallway. I don't have to make it that far before I catch a familiar glimpse of pink in my vision, and I walk out to see Ren already awake and neatly stacking his pillows and blanket away. But morning, Angel. Sleep well? I don't think anyone came by last night, but your neighbor, she's kind of loud, isn't she? Ren must have heard her gaming away at her computer at 2 a.m. like usual. My voice is going out! I don't even know how long I've been streaming. Probably for a good ass long time. It doesn't say. Trapped here. As if to apologize on her behalf, I offer Ren a sympathetic smile before coming to help him move the pillows back into their rightful spot. Yeah, sorry about that. I usually don't mind since I'm also awake at the time, but I forgot that you'd be able to hear Violet from here as well. Oh, no trouble. I just thought it was odd to hear at first. She doesn't really give off that vibe, you know? Yeah, I get what you're saying. She's not really the type to growl. Oh! Apparently, Ren's stomach wanted to join the conversation. Sheepishly, he covers his mouth with a sleeve of his sweater and turns away. But now that I was up close, I can make out that faint dark circles around his eyes and immediately started to feel bad. So he was hungry and didn't get much sleep last night. I must have been a terrible host. I had to make up for it somehow. So sorry, I didn't know why it made that noise. I'm not hungry or anything. Here, why don't I make us something to eat? Okay, don't worry about it. I wouldn't want to be a bother anyway. Actually, we don't have to go. Why don't we go out for breakfast instead? I think that cafe by the pier is open to the public now. We should check it out. I knew that cafe. Was he talking about the Driftwood Cafe? I wasn't even aware that it was open to the public yet. Still, take him out for breakfast was the least that I could do to show my gratitude. After all, Ren did make sure no creeps broke into my apartment again, and he did it without expecting anything in return. I think Ren's the one that was in the apartment in the first place. That's why no creeps showed up. Yeah, sure. Let me just get dressed then. I'll be a few seconds. Okay, sure. Take your time. I'll wait here. Seeing Ren unattended yet again, I quickly ducked back into my room and changed out of my pajamas. I don't get to choose what I get to wear? Rude. Damaging to my internal soul. In the end, Ren and I decided to walk to the cafe together. Considering how the weather was perfect and it wasn't so far from my apartment. Turning to my side, I noticed how the pink-haired man tries to not subtly sneak and glass and dances towards me. The arm at his side practically itches to reach out, and I knew way better. If I knew any better, I would have assumed he wanted to hold my hand. But instead, he simply tucks his hands into his pockets and shoots me yet another soft smile. It's cute. It's cute. The weather's nice today, huh? That's smallpox. Sure. It sure is. If I hadn't known it'd be this nice and sunny, I would have suggested spending the day at the beach instead. Yeah? Yeah, we could go for a swim or maybe even check out the rock pools. It's been a while since I've been here. Oh, that does sound fun. Haley! At the sound of my name being called, I turned on my heels only to find Leon running up towards me with a sports bag full of what I assumed to be his volleyball gear. Heyo, Sunfish! It's good to see you out and about this early. I was just on my way to the beach to meet up with Jay and Tio. Want to tag along? And hey, it's Ron, right? Nice to meet you again, buddy. It's Fred, actually. Sunfish? Huh? Oh yeah. Sunfish is his cheesy nickname Leon gave me when we were kids. I don't really get it either, to be honest. Sunfish is... oh. Ah! So, Sunfish and Ren, was it? Sorry about that, bud. Not good with names and faces too sometimes. But hey, it's good seeing you both again. Doing anything exciting today? If not, you can tag along with me and... Angelfish and I were... She got upset. So upset of calling me Sunfish. She's calling me Angelfish. Angelfish and I were we're about to go on a date, actually. Angelfish? A date? I don't miss the way Ren suddenly pulls my arm closer to his side, nor the way he clings onto me as though I suddenly disappear. You're going on dates again, Darl? Good for you! I'm glad to see that you're coming out of your shell again. Take good care of her for me, won't you, bud? What do you think I've been doing ever since you moved away? Somebody's a little jealous. Just a little jealous. Like me, Leon barely seems to notice Ren's mumbling at the rest of as he rests his arm over my shoulder and starts tugging me over in the direction of the beach. Does she not understand that he called it a date? Are we dating now? Ren, on the other hand, still latches onto my arm, but doesn't seem to move. Can't believe my little Sunfish is out there dating on the dating scene again. I feel like a proud father. Oh please, we're basically the same age. I feel like a proud adoptive father. Leon pretends to wipe a tear from his eyes as he leans further into my shoulder. and it was only then that I noticed Ren wasn't following us. Turning around, I reached out to grab his hand instead of to tug him along. He immediately starts to perk up in at the action, and intertwines his fingers with mine before falling into step. That's so cute! Alright, as fun as it was to catch up with my proud adopted father who's the same age as me, which makes things kind of weird, Ren and I do need to go and get going. Oh yeah, of course. Didn't mean to take up so much of your time. He unhooks his arm from around my shoulder and inclines his head towards the beach one more time. But my offer still stands if you guys want to catch up some more. I'll be down at the beach with Tio! Oi. Speak of the devil. Much like Jay, Theodore was another friend I made in university. But if I was being honest here, I don't think he was actually enrolled in anything. He just showed up every so often to keep his attendance rate up and to antagonize some of the students and staff. As if reading my mind, Tio practically runs into Ren with the sole purpose of sending him tumbling into a metal railing behind him. Ouch! Get the fuck out of here, Tio! Stop it! You're hurting him! I like his snake tattoo, but he's a dick. But luckily, Ren manages to catch his footing at the last second, sending Tio in an annoyed scowl of his own. Aw, crap. Sorry about that. Didn't know. I'm not sure how I missed such a brightly colored children's mascot. Get out of here! Get out of here! Alright, there's no need for that here. Despite Leo's tone, Tio barely pays the shorter male any mind, seemingly far more interested in Ren instead. Let me guess, you're dressed up as Benny the Buttercup? My 4-year-old cousin would love you. Oi, knock it off, mate! What's your problem? Don't know, what's yours? This is not what I expected in this simulator. I could practically feel the tension between the two grow, so I decided to jump in. Maybe you should introduce each other first before you try glaring each other to death. Tio, this is Ren. Well, I'm her boyfriend. I can't do much about that one. He stayed over for a night. It hasn't even been a day. They have only talked to each other for a day. And they're already in a relationship. Alright. Well, that was certainly one way to put it, especially without discussing it with me beforehand and asking for my opinion. At his words, I shoot Ren a confused glance, but determination on his face had me biting back my words. Okay then. Anyway, this is Tio. How will you respond? We dated, Tio? We dated, Tio. I don't like Tio. We dated Tio? He's my ex-boyfriend. Yeah, I don't like to date people outside of my tax bracket. And don't get it twisted, doll. We were never exclusive. I never even brought up the concept of dating when I was with you. He's such a dick, and I don't like him. Oh, that explains why you were fine with cheating on me. Wait, what? I thought you guys were just friends. What a complete loser. Look, it's not cheating if I was never your boyfriend. Alright, why don't we just change the subject? I'm sorry, you weren't my boyfriend? Then why did you ask me not to see other people? You think I'd want to share you with others and let them have what's mine? Oh, man, you go! You need to go with the trash! Before I could step forward and knock some sense into that idiot, Ren seems to beat me to it. He grabs the other male by the collar of his shirt, but Tio only looks on with a lazy smirk. What's your problem? Okay, enough. Look, why don't we just drop the issue? You really need to stop trying to pick fights with everyone there. Ah, don't get your panties in this twist. I seriously doubt Buttercup's capable of harming a fly, let alone able to throw a decent punch. You can drop the nickname. Nah, but I think Dollface over here should drop you instead. Besides, the nickname is kind of cute. Matches your style pretty well, don't you think, Buttercup? I could see Ren's hand clench into a fist as he advances towards Tio, but thankfully, Leon steps in once more. Seriously, why don't we cool off, yeah? I think we're getting a bit too heated. Look, we're going to head down the beach. I don't miss the way Leon sent Tio a sharp glare. Are you sure you won't be able to join us? You don't want to join us, Haley? I promise to make sure that Tio stays on his best behavior. Sorry, Leo, I've already made plans with Ren, and I seriously doubt they'll be able to get along, so you know what? You know how Tio can get. Yeah, you've got a point there. Well, alright then. He leans closer to me, almost as if he didn't want the others to be eavesdropping. If anything happens, I'll be in the area. Just come find me, okay? He's so nice. Leon! Leon! I give his arm a soft squeeze and turn my attention back to Ren. But the way he looks at us, I can only assume he didn't like how close I was standing by my childhood friend. Though, that could have also been because Tio was still around, and honestly, I couldn't blame him. Regardless, for his hand, once more I tugged him towards the cafe, making a point to ignore Tio's crass words as we went along. I barely noticed how Ren's mood immediately changes when my attention is back on him, and he follows along just like a lost puppy. That's cute! Cute, cute. We eventually arrive at Driftwood Cafe, and the smell of fresh pastries and brewed coffee floods my senses as it walks through the open windows. And just as I thought, the cafe looked as though it had only recently opened, though it didn't seem as busy or crowded as I anticipated. Pulling me from my thoughts, Ren ushers me into one of the empty tables before he goes off to make an order with a please look. It was strange how he didn't want to look at the menu first, but I chalked it up to him just wanting to surprise me. He's barely gone for 5 minutes before he returns once more, taking a seat in front of me with a huff. A comfortable silence washes over us, and I watch as he absent-mindedly fiddles with the ends of his hair. Was he still concerned about what Tio said about his appearance earlier? Maybe it'd be a good idea to take his mind off it. Hey, Ren. Almost immediately he perks up with wide eyes. How do you manage to keep your hair so fluffy? It always looks so good. Ren seems to flush intensely at my words, and he sheepishly ducks his head lower to hide his reddening cheeks. You like it? I usually just angle a blow dryer over my chin and blast the heat, and it just stays like that afterwards. Oh, so you don't use any product or anything? No, not really. Just when I thought he got over his timid personality, someone came crawling back. Is this really who he was? Ren must have taken my silence as a lack of response, seeing as he tries striking up another conversation. So, work's going good for you, huh? Finally got that promotion? You know, 1 + 1 doesn't equal 6. This man's definitely a stalker. But he's a cute stalker. Doesn't make it okay! Doesn't make it okay. Before I continue, it doesn't make it okay to stalk. But he's a cute stalker. Ah, yes, yeah, I did. I was mostly surprised when I first got my promotion, considering how I've only moved back here recently. But Eleanor's been really helpful by showing me the ropes and... Wait, how did you know that I got promoted? Oh, your coworker told me all about it yesterday after you left. Eleanor, right? She seems really proud of you. Anyway, what were you saying about her showing you the ropes? I barely noticed how he managed to change the conversation back to me as I recounted all the times Eleanor helped me through my first week of working at the library. It eventually reached a point where it felt like I had been talking for hours, and it wasn't until something caught my eye that I did finally stop. How will you respond? Oh, look at that cute puppy! Ren glances out the window. Ah, my voice! Ren glances out the window and follows my line of sight, my line of sight, where a small Pomeranian sat, idling, chewing the laces off of his own shoes. Haha, yeah, that's pretty cute, and that's a pretty dog, but I think you're way cuter. Nothing could compare to you. Order 25? Oh yeah, that's us. Wait, right here. We'll be right back. Before I could get a word in, Ren was jumping out of his seat and meandering his way towards a kiosk. It really was a sight to behold, seeing Ren tower over most of the other customers who were waiting in line. Even the cashier herself, who seemed to be at least 6 feet tall, had craned her neck up just to look at him. Jesus Christ! Before I could blink twice, Ren was already on his way back with a large tray full of delicious food. He sits himself back in his original spot with a pleased smile and begins to lay out the dishes in front of me. Oh, this is... How are you fun? I love cake and I love cookies. Scones are okay, and the chocolate croissants are alright. But cake. A generous slice of cake sits in the middle, sits next to my beverage, and I almost hear my stomach rumble at the sight. I didn't even know that was my favorite thing to order. Granted, it wasn't like I've been to the Driftwood Cafe before, but this was usually what I order at any other cafe. It was honestly like he could read my mind. What was even more mind-boggling was that he didn't even need to look at the menu beforehand. You know, if he's a stalker that's doing it right, at least he knows everything. And the little things are nice to know. It was like he just knew. Don't forget your drink. Red shoots me another gentle smile of his before placing my drink before me. No way. The drink he placed in front of me, it was steaming latte, a can of soda, a fruity smoothie. A steaming latte. I could tell by that scent that he ordered me a nice warm latte. Just like the ones I usually bring on my way to work sometimes. I hope it's okay. Unfortunately, this cafe doesn't really have much to offer, judging from the menu I saw online. So that's how he knew what to order. Me! You look it up online, and then you order. You're scared, and you don't want to take any more time of the waitress or waiter or the cashier. I even tried asking for napkins earlier, but I don't think they heard me. Maybe I should try again. I almost felt bad for him, but I also felt grateful for ordering me something that I normally eat at the cafe. Ren makes sure everything is on the table before putting the tray aside, and it was then that I noticed what he ordered for himself. On his plate sat a strawberry sweet roll alongside a cup of coffee that was an alarming shade of black. Strawberry sweet roll is so cute. It's so nice. He seems to pick up on my inquisitive stare, if the innocent tilt to his head was anything to go by. Do you want my meal instead? We can swap if you want. I don't mind. This was supposed to be a date, right? Deciding to tease him a little, I shoot Ren a sly grin. That's okay. I could offer you a bite. You could offer me a bite instead. Okay. Ren almost seems to combust on the spot as his cheeks turn red and he almost chokes on his own spit. He looks down at his food before glancing back at me, only to look down once more to scoop up a bite-sized piece of his food. I watch Ren's cheeks turn a deep shade of red while he brings his fork closer to me, and not wanting to be seen as a coward, I lean in to take a bite. His eyes widen immediately, and he seems hyper-focused on the way my mouth wraps around the fork before I lick my lips and let out a smooth hum. It's yummy. Try some. The pink-haired man seems to have an awkwardly long staring contest with his own fork before scooping up yet another small piece and taking a bite. Ren's cheeks are still scarlet red, and he seems almost fidgety with how his leg keeps bouncing under the table. So I decide to take pity on him and not tease him for it. With a knowing smile, I start digging into my own meal with a pleasure hum. Eventually, we ended up finishing our meals and decided to do a bit of window shopping to pass time. I had nothing else to do today, and Ren seemed insistent on spending the rest of his time with me, so I agreed. We passed by a few clothing stores, ice cream stands, surfboard rentals, and many other interesting buildings, so nothing really caught my interest. But as I thought I'd lose all hope, one store in particular catching my eye. In one of the display windows, I spot this cute little rabbit plushie in the style of Hiriko's likeness. I mean, it came out, it even came with its own limited edition sorcerer outfit and everything. I couldn't believe they were still selling these things here of all places, and at such a cheap price too. Ren seems to take notice of what I was not so subtly looking at. But before we could enter the store, the cashier walks in front of the display stand and blocks our view. She drops a box of miscellaneous items at her feet and begins stocking the shelf next to the plushies before she finally notices us standing by the window. I don't miss the way her eyes widen at Ren, obviously taking an immediate liking to them. Oh, is my character getting jealous? Is my character getting jealous? My character's getting jealous. And almost shamelessly pushes a strand of hair behind her ears before giving him a small wave. Taking a glance at the taller man beside me, I noticed how Ren wasn't even paying attention to her. Paying any attention to her. Ow! As he should! Instead, keeping himself busy by scratching at his jaw and kicking at the stray cobblestone rocks by his feet. But the cashier seems adamant about getting Ren's attention, considering how she felt the need to abandon her spot by the shelves and make her way towards us. One second, let me go to the bathroom. I think it's a good spot to go to the bathroom at. Okay, I am back. I'm alive. And I got soda. And I could probably do this. Wait, let me see how long I've been streaming. Oh, 117 minutes ago. So it's almost 2 hours. After the second day, I'm gonna take a 30-minute break and come back. And then play some Phasmophobia if I can get my brother to join me. Hi there, welcome to Seaside Trinkets. My name is Olivia. Can I help you with anything? Oh no, we're just looking around, but thanks for we recently got some new beachwear merch if you're interested in checking them out. Was she seriously ignoring me? Oh, you kind of look like someone I know. Have we met before? Maybe we went to the same school? Me? I don't think so. Really? I definitely would have remembered a face like yours. Actually, now that I've got a good look at you, I watch as she shamelessly looks at Ren's appearance before crossing her arms over her chest and leaning back. You also remind me of one of those characters from the cartoon that's been gaining a lot of traction here. Apparently, one of those locations from that show is based on Corlin Bay's main beach. Are you talking about Attack on Giant? Yeah, is that the name of it? Then yeah, I don't really know much about about those cartoons, but our company recently started selling some stuff for it to entice the tourists. Do you really want to come inside? Do you want to come inside and take a look? Actually, do you want my number as well? Here, you have this prepared. Of course. You always need to be ready in case any cuties walk into the store. I don't want to sound like a hypocrite or anything. Ren looks at me with a shy, knowing look before he hesitantly reaches out to take a piece of paper. What did he mean by that? Before I even get the chance to ask, Ren already remembers my silent question with red cheeks and a crooked smile. This is embarrassing, but I also had my number prepared for when we met at the library yesterday here. He reaches into his back pocket and pulls out a folded pink sticky note of his own before handing it to me, alongside Olivia's number as well. That that's cute. Huh? My confusion must have been blatantly obvious since Ren was quick to explain his intentions. With a mischievous grin, he leans closer to whisper into my ear. Maybe we should prank call her later. That'll teach her not to give her number out to strangers. Ah! But isn't that what you did with me, Ren? I matched with his teasing smile with my own. Touche, but I haven't received any prank calls from you, though. Don't jinx it. But as Ren lets out a puff of laughter at my joke, Olivia cuts him off. Oh, hello, I'm still here. Oh, right, sorry. Anyway, now that you've got my number and I've got your attention again, I think it's only fair that I show you around the store. I don't do this for just anyone, you know? Ren doesn't seem to answer her initial question, nor does he seem to outright respond to her. He instead casts an inquisitive glance my direction. It was like he was asking me for my opinion. And can I only assume it's because he knew about my interest in anime? It was thoughtful of him to do that, but I kind of wanted him to tell that rude worker off instead. Wait, did I really want him to do with that? Him to do that? What was wrong with me? I'm sure that cashier just took an interest in him, and there's nothing wrong about with that. It's not like we were a couple anyway, but we were supposed to be on a date right now, and Ren did declare himself as my boyfriend earlier. But I just assumed he said that in order to get Tio off my back. Does that mean he was feeling the same way as me? Was jealousy on his mind when he talked to Leon and Tio earlier? I wasn't sure how I felt about this new discovery. Haley? Huh? Do you want to go look at the items? We've still got a bit of time to kill. What the fuck? Here, why don't I just show you the most recent stock? We haven't shown this to the general public yet, and I bet you'll love it. Without warning, Olivia, was that her name? Reaches out for Ren's arm and practically drags him inside the store. He lets out a surprised sound before leaning back and trying to grab a hold of my arm as well, but I was just out of his reach. There was nothing else I could do but watch as Ren helplessly gets pulled into the store. It's back here in the stock rooms. Usually we don't allow customers downstairs, but you're a real hottie, so I'll let you take a sneak peek. No, actually, I'm good. Don't worry, we won't get caught. I'm sure your girlfriend won't mind if I borrow you for a bit. I'll even throw in some of those cartoon stickers for you. Surely that'll make it worth some of your time. The wink she sent him felt a little excessive, and I honestly wished Ren would turn around so I could gauge his reaction. But instead, he leans close to her face and whispers in a hushed tone that I could barely hear from my spot outside the store. If she wasn't right now, I would down this stick right without a thought. And honestly, there's nothing more I'd rather do. Is he trying to cheat on me? From their current position, I feel bad. I feel sad. From their current position, it looked as though they were having a really intimate conversation, and I felt the sudden urge to look away. Why was I getting so bothered over this? I know we weren't exactly together, but Ren shouldn't be off flirting with other people while on a date with someone else. Besides, this was exactly the type of thing Tio would do when we were dating. He'd go around shamelessly flirting with other people, sometimes while I was in the very same room. And what made it worse was that he'd simply laugh it off by saying he was just messing around and that I shouldn't be getting so worked up. I honestly couldn't believe that Ren was doing the same thing to me right now. But still, this there was this nagging voice in the back of my head that kept telling me not to give up on him so easily. Ren was one who could who confidently stood his ground when Tio got a bit suggestive. So maybe I should do the same. Would he even mind? Before I could stop myself, my feet started to move on autopilot as I marched towards the two of them and reached for Ren's sleeve. I give it a hesitant tug, and I swear I could almost feel the relief wash over his body because of it. Ren's entire demeanor seems to change in that moment, and he turns to me with a relieved smile on his face, on his soft features. I don't really have any interest in the store. Can we go somewhere else? Yeah, of course. Wait, hold on. Ren carelessly shoves Olivia's outstretched hand aside and gently places an arm over my shoulder instead. And just like that, he's already guiding me out of the store and back onto the busy street. I can hear Olivia sputter out confused sounds as she watches the two of us leave, and I suddenly feel guilty for causing a rift between them. No matter how many times I try to brush it off on the side. Did I? Oh, the desktop audio was never on. Should really look at that when I come back. It'd be nice of me to do. I couldn't get, no matter how many times I've tried to brush it off, brush it aside, I still couldn't get my mind off of what had just occurred earlier. What if Ren was interested in her? Granted, he probably shouldn't have just blatantly flirted with her while on a date with me, but he wasn't exactly the most confident guy. Would he still be able to talk to her again if things didn't work out between us? No, I shouldn't be thinking like that. Peering up to gauge his expression, I noticed he didn't really look upset after leaving her. If anything, he seemed rather content to be walking down the street with his fingers intertwined with mine once more. Kind of heals me. It hurts. I can feel him give my hand a protective squeeze as he looks down at me with his soft blue eyes, and all of my worries somehow melt away. Maybe I did make the right choice after all. I might have been selfish, but it was worth having Ren look at me with such a gentle expression. Eventually, the sun starts to set behind the ocean as Ren and I continue to walk along the beach. Most of the conversation was geared towards me and my interests again, but every time I tried to learn more about Ren, he only seemed to divert the conversation back to me once more. But more I focused on this odd behavior, the more I began to pick up on his social habits as well. I learned that Ren would subtly pick at his sleeves of his cardigan whenever he got nervous, or how he scratched at his jaw whenever the conversation strayed down a path he didn't feel comfortable with. His little quirks told me more about himself than the dead-end conversations that only led back to me, and I was content knowing more about him than I did yesterday. Ren no longer felt like a stranger I had met at the library, but rather someone I could consider a friend. Except friends aren't supposed to get jealous whenever they see them flirt with someone else. Jeez, what was wrong with me? It had barely been 2 days, and I was already contemplating whether or not I truly saw Ren in a romantic light. Was I going too fast? All of these thoughts were starting to get a bit overwhelming, and Angel? Hello? Huh? You're spacing out on me again. Where's that look again? He keeps peering at me down with such an I don't know if adoration is the way to say it. Adoration in his eyes. But if I didn't know any better, I would think he was already halfway in love with me. So that was a very conceited thought, and probably wasn't even true. Sorry, I was just thinking about things. Are you going to share those things with the rest of the class? He sends me a playful smile and a gentle nudge to my side, and I couldn't help but laugh. When did we become so comfortable with each other? When did he lose his stutter? It's nothing really, maybe a bit embarrassing, but I was wondering, how do you feel about my sentence gets cut short when a drop of rain lands on my cheek? Instinctively, I looked up, wondering how I didn't notice those dark clouds on the sky came in. All of a sudden, more droplets fall down. Oh no! Until it's all but pouring rain and forcing everyone in the area to find cover. Over here! Ren doesn't seem to pay much attention when he grabs me by the hand and pulls me underneath one of the awnings of a nearby building. He shields me from the rain with his body, and I couldn't help but feel tiny with the way his arms caged me and as he rested against the wall. Oh. We looked at each other in silence for a brief moment before erupting in laughter. Perhaps it was because of the adrenaline from all the panic running, or the fact that Ren's hair was starting to lose its fluffiness, but I couldn't hold back from letting out a giggles. This only seemed to spur Ren on as well, until we're both wheezing out our lungs and gulping down air. I can't remember what the last time I ran that fast. Me too. The looming sound of thunder echoes far and drowns out our laughter until we're both silent once more. Once we both calm down, Ren moves me farther away from the rain before casting a glance behind him. Wait here, I'll buy an umbrella so we can walk and we can get out of this rain. But you'll get soaked! It's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. I roll my eyes at his corny joke and send him off with a new smile. He doesn't look back before he makes a mad dash out of the rain and down the street towards the closest convenience store. Though the rain always seems to get heavier the moment he leaves, and I find myself pressing even farther against the wall behind me to avoid the recoil of the rain bouncing off the pavement. There wasn't much for me to do while I waited for Ren to return, aside from watching the people scramble around the shelter. And just like that, the carefree sounds of laughter echoing from down the street captured my attention as I watched Leon, Tio, and Jay all run to cover like their life depended on it. Well, it seems as though their beach outing got cut short as well. Glancing back once more, I barely make out the figure of Leon using his bag as a makeshift umbrella as he ducks under one of the awnings of an ice cream stand, while Tio and Jay trail behind at a leisurely pace, kicking and splashing water at each other in the rain. I had to look away for a moment. Tio started to remove his shirt, and I had an inkling that it was so he could show off. And knowing Jay, he'd follow along without a care in the world because that's just what he does when it comes to his friends. A part of me felt like calling out to the group to see if I could wait out the storm alongside them, but they all seemed to be enjoying themselves and I didn't want to get in between that. Plus, I did promise Ren that I'd wait for him here, even if he is taking his sweet time. Did he ever want to return? There was no sign of him, or his comfy-looking cardigan. I was beginning to wonder if he really did ditch me. After all, it must have been more than 15 minutes by now. What if he got caught up with something, or what if he went back to see that cashier lady again? The store did happen to be on the same street, but after spending the afternoon with Ren and getting to know him, I concluded that he wasn't the type of person to do such a thing. But if he was, then that would only add insult to injury, considering how Tio had done the same thing to me multiple times in the past. Although, if I was being honest with myself, it did seem as though they had chemistry. Especially with how he looked at him and touched his arm as though it was the most natural thing in the world. She apparently knew him as well, or at least looked recognizable enough. Why did that thought make my blood boil? Thankfully, the rain was there to cool me off, as well as soak the ends of my outfit. It makes everything feel damp and uncomfortable. Is Ren really coming back? I shouldn't have taken this long to buy an umbrella. Will I come alone or wait for Ren? Wait for Ren. Maybe something did come up. I'm sure he'll be back. And as if on cue, I spot a familiar patch of pink hair within the misty rain, frankly sprinting with an umbrella in one hand and a bag under the other. Angel? Maybe? Ah! He almost slammed into me before stopping just in time. And I could tell that tell by the way he was wheezing that he ran all the way back in here without stopping. Sorry, I thought I almost lost you here for a second. It's so hard to say in this weather. Jeez, man, what took you so long? I wanted to cuss him out for taking well over 20 minutes just to buy a single umbrella but the genuinely apologetic look on his features made me hold my tongue. Sorry, I ran into your friends from earlier, which took forever for me to take them off. And then the convenience store ended up closing early due to the sudden weather change, so I had to go to that awful souvenir shop, that obnoxious and clingy cashier again, and He was talking a mile a minute, and I was worried he'd end up biting his tongue. Gently, I raised a hand to signal him to calm down, and his intense monologue soon comes to a halt. I'm really sorry about making you wait so long, but ta-da! I didn't manage to get an umbrella, among other things as well. He gets a small twirl in his hand, sending droplets of water all over the place. We can start heading back home now if you want, unless you want to go somewhere specific. I'm curious as to his apartment. My apartment? Sure, it's not that far away. We could wait out the storm there if you like. I even have a heater and a dryer we could use. The image of me sitting in front of a warm, cozy heater was too hard to resist, so I end up eagerly stepping in front of Ren's umbrella while he leads the way. Despite the heavy downpour of rain, we managed to make it to Ren's apartment complex in one piece. I guess he really wasn't lying when he said his apartment wasn't far from mine. But judging from the pristine interior and fully functioning elevator, his building seemed to be in far better shape than compared to my apartment. The elevator ride could have been a little less awkward though, if we weren't for the slow ascend and tacky music. Or the fact that Ren deemed it appropriate to shake his hair like a wet dog and get the water droplets everywhere. Once the doors slid open, I was immediately met with a grandiose corridor and large spacious doors. I found myself wondering how much it costs to live in a place like this. Don't look too hard at how messy my place is, okay? I wasn't expecting to have someone over today, so I didn't bother cleaning up. I'm getting a weird sense of deja vu. Thank you. Thankfully, I didn't have any white-haired neighbors who like to take their plants on walks. Actually, now that I think about it, it's a bit strange that no one lives on this floor aside from me. I'm not really sure why, but I'm not gonna complain. I can make as much noise as I want, and no one would have noticed. Ren shoots me a mischievous grin, and I find myself wondering what he meant by that. Like loud music and stuff? Movies? Yeah, something like that. He unlocks the door with some electronic card attached to his keychain, and the moment the door swings open, I let an audible gasp. Ren doesn't seem fazed in the slightest as he flicks on the lights and walks into his own home, but I could only stand by at the entrance to his foyer in shock. Yes, his foyer. He had a whole dang foyer in his apartment. Was this even an apartment? Surely a penthouse would have made more sense. Holy crap, Ren. Is something wrong? What is it? I know the decor is kind of tacky, but it came with the apartment and I haven't found the time to do anything about it yet. I'm sorry, but are you the long-lost heir of a billionaire or something? This place is huge. And hello, is that Marble? No, I just get paid a lot for my job. Enough to afford rent, at least. You know, I don't think I asked you this yet, but what exactly is your job? Oh, my job is, well, I guess you could say I'm a programmer. I don't know. I just take on a few jobs every so often. Nothing super fancy or anything. Nothing super fancy? Ren, you have marble flooring. Leaving the newly discovered programmer at the entrance, I curiously venture further into his apartment. Marble's a pain in the rear to clean too. Oh, Angel, did you want slippers? The floors can get cold and your shoes are probably soaked, right? Turning around, I noticed Ren opening a small closet and pulling out a pair of dark house slippers. He looks at me with a curious expression, but makes no effort to hand them over. Only if you want them. I'll take them, but only because they look like they're douchey. Kinda like Gucci, but douchey. Ren lets out a puff of air through his nose at my joke, but doesn't seem to deny it. Were those slippers really from the luxury brand? As I put them on, I noticed how they were my exact size. It made me wonder if he had bought a bunch of expensive house slippers in varying sizes. But as funny as that imagery was, how did Ren accurately guess my shoe size without seeing my feet? Here, why don't I show you the bathroom? I'll find you something to wear in the meantime while your clothes are in the dryer. Or would you prefer a towel instead? I guess that'd make more sense. I'm sorry, I don't usually invite people over. Seeing his timid side resurface once more gave me a sudden urge to tease him. Just towel? Nothing else? Yeah, to keep you warm instead of taking a shower, unless you prefer a blanket, because I'm pretty sure I have an electric... Oh. It was as if the gears inside his head were finally clicking together. No, I didn't mean... I meant a towel that you could wear over your clothes, not just a towel, not just you in a towel unless you want to, but that's why would you... I'm just going to shut up now, sorry. That wasn't what I meant at all, but his reaction was priceless nonetheless. Anyway, I'll show you the bathroom, and you can do whatever you want in there. Nothing is off limits. First it was offering to spend the night at my place, then it was asserting himself as my boyfriend in front of my friends. He really doesn't care about personal boundaries, huh? I was beginning to think that Ren didn't really seem to mind when it came to me invading his personal bubble as well. Though he seemed pretty standoffish around Tio and Leon. And it took him a while to warm up to Eleanor back at the library. He even seemed indifferent when he met Violet. But I figured it was only because he was shy. Speaking of shy, I still noticed how Ren didn't seem to be switching up his personality as much anymore. And I was beginning to think he was showing me his real side. Up until now, everything felt real and genuine, and I found that we could bounce back witty retorts between each other more easily. Though every now and again he might slip up and stutter, but I just assumed it was because my teasing made him flustered. So maybe the timid side of him was genuine after all. But I'll leave some clothes for you outside and put the plushie I bought for you in your room. Oh, yeah, thanks. Great, I was zoning out again and completely missed half of what he was saying. Something about clothes, a plushie, and was he talking about Hariko plushie I was eyeing up earlier? I mean, he was carrying a gift bag from the souvenir shop earlier. Did he really buy me that toy? Ren, however, doesn't seem to pick up on my confusion, though, and invitingly opens up the bathroom door for me with a soft smile. And so, without trying to make things awkward, I quickly slip inside and lean against the door for support. Which was fortunate for me because one sweep of the bathroom had me stumbling back in surprise. Whoa. Even his restroom looked expensive. I was afraid of touching anything, fearing I might accidentally break it and end up paying for it. Glancing around again, I noticed how his countertop seemed to be void of any dental care, hairbrushes, skincare products, though a few bottles of concealer and an open box of hair dye sat in the corner near the sink. Well, I guess that answers my burning questions whether whether or not he naturally had pink hair. But now it made me wonder if Ren does dye his hair. Then what was his natural color? There were so many things I didn't know about the soft-looking guy, and I was beginning to question whether coming here was a good idea or not. With a sigh, I decided not to waste any more time thinking about irrelevant things and instead turned my attention back into the shower. Quickly stripping out of my clothes, I jump into the unnecessarily large glass booth and turn the water on. Stepping out Ren's shelf, albeit limited hair and body products. I couldn't help but notice that one brand in particular just so happened to be the exact same as mine. Did he use the same body wash? He didn't smell like me, but maybe he was because I wasn't paying that much attention? I mean, who randomly smells people out of the blue anyway? Shaking my head at a silly notion, I began to scrub away with the lingering smell of rain from my body and quickly finishing up watching light. Bundled up in a warm towel, I cracked open the large door and poked my head out into the hallway. True to his word, Ren left a small pile of clothing outside of the bathroom, neatly stacked and propped up against the door, against the side of the wall. Bringing the contents back inside, I noticed that one piece of clothing in particular was rather comfy-looking hoodie, but the designer front, however, was rather morbid-looking and didn't really suit Ren's vibe. Maybe from a horror film or something? Shrugging my shoulders, I put the hoodie on and instantly get enveloped by the sheer amount of fabric. I mean, it made sense considering Ren's large and lanky frame, but this was just absurd. I had to stifle a laugh from the amusing sight in the fogged up mirror, but I had to admit the soft fabric felt nice against my and warm against my skin. Even the scent that came from it felt oddly comforting somehow. Turning back into to the remaining clothes in the pile, I gently picked up the next item and tried to put it on. The gray sweatpants didn't seem to fit in the length of my legs despite the number of times I tried to roll up the elastic, but luckily Ren was thoughtful enough to give me other alternatives. The dark pair of shorts seemed like the better option, especially since it came with a drawstring and deep pockets. Once I was fully dressed, I stepped out of the bathroom and aimlessly walked around until I could hear the faint sounds of the TV playing. Feeling curious, I followed the source of the sound down the hallway. Breaking news! A thunderstorm hits Bay as gale force winds and knock over the street signs and even awnings. I believe the sudden change in the weather will die soon, and to stay safe inside. And continue to follow the noise until it suddenly cuts out and changing into a glaring monotone sound, indicating that the television must have lost signal. Soon enough, I find myself in Ren's spacious lounge room. Aside from the TV, the rest of the lights were off, but I could still make out most of the dark shapes within the room with ease. It was just as extraneous as the rest of the house, though I couldn't help myself but feel like it lacked any form of life. It just didn't seem like anyone actually lived here. The furniture was gaugy yet tasteless, and there was hardly any personal decoration or colors, and there was nothing that really screamed Ren to me. There was no personal touches, photos, items, hobbies, nothing. Just tacky furniture and bland smell of something sterile. If I'm being honest, it gave me the same vibe as a dentist's clinic or a hospital. I mean, he did mention recently moving in, right? Maybe that's why. Who moved in? Surprised by the sudden voice, I spin on my heel and only to find Ren coming out of one of the hallways with a new set of comfy clothing. I see that. He seemed much more at ease like this, especially with the gentle expression on his face. I watch as he takes a respectful glance at my attire before sheepishly averting his attention to the end of the seat. Sorry, that was the only pair of clothing that I could find that might fit you. It looks really good on you, though. Oh, thanks. You can keep them if you want. The sound of thunder rumbling in the distance cuts off Ren's mumbling, and I involuntarily step closer to him. Without missing a beat, he reaches out and rests a protective hand over my shoulder to steady me. Ren idly glances out of the window before turning his undivided attention back to me once more, only this time with a determined look. It's really boring, huh? I could only nod my head at his words, suddenly feeling sheepish all of a sudden. I really should have checked the weather forecast before I went out today. But to be fair, it didn't look as though it would start spontaneously raining when I left my apartment this morning. I guess I was just enjoying my time with Ren to the point where I didn't even realize the weather was turning sour. Angel? Sorry, what did you say? I asked if you wanted to stay here, stay the night here, you know, seeing how hard it's raining out there, and clothes haven't finished drying yet. Be no trouble, and I could return the favor considering how you let me stay at your apartment yesterday. Staying at his place for the night? Well, this certainly isn't how I expected to end my day, but would it really be that bad? If it definitely beats waiting out the storm and walking home with a bunch of puddles everywhere. Interesting. Why is this glitching out? Does he like me too much? We're full. This weather, I'm sweating. Spotted it at the pier. Yeah, that's my wallet. It's not his wallet. Okay, Eleanor, this is who. Wait, what was that? Did I really want to stay at Ren's place? I guess I did. I couldn't really remember otherwise. I guess I could stay if that's okay with you. Yeah, of course, that's totally fine. Wow, he's really an energetic, eccentric man, wasn't he? Let me know if you need any more pillows or something. Or if the room gets too cold. I haven't worked out how to use a fancy heater system yet, but I could definitely try. Also, you already know where the bathroom is, but if you... Okay, I think I got it, Ren. I show him a reassuring smile as I turn to face him at the door. I should have gotten used to his attentive and observant behavior by now, but still felt like a foreign side of him that I haven't fully discovered. At least he wasn't stuttering as much anymore. I know, sorry. I just wanted you to be as comfortable as possible, so just treat this house like it's your own. Alright, gotcha. He looks like he doesn't want to leave and instead lingers in front of the door a little while longer. Are you sure there isn't anything else you need? Anything at all? Behind the locked door. No, I'm good, thank you. She likes him. She's getting jealous. Sneak in for that kiss. Almost sheepishly, I dared to look up and gauge Ren's reaction to my words. He seems to be taking it as best as he can, judging from how bright his cheeks and neck get. The fact that he can't seem to look me in the eyes. Ren, don't get all shy on me now. Before I could finish my sentence, Ren was already leaning down and pressing his soft lips against my own. I barely noticed his hand gently hold the way his hand gently hold my shoulder to keep me steady as his head tilted to the side. His kiss was brief and chaste, but it still made us both flustered. Is that okay? Uh-huh. Okay, good, I'm glad. Me. Before I can even respond, he's already turning on his heels and speed walking towards his own room. Shaking my head at his odd behavior, I close the door behind me and slowly make my way towards the bed. I notice a Haroko plushie Ren had bought earlier was sitting atop the sheets, and I gently bring it closer to my chest and give it a soft squeeze. So he really did buy this for me after all. The faintest hint of cherry and mint emits from the toy, makes my mind drift to thoughts that strange pink-haired man once more. He was still odd as usual, but some parts of him were starting to feel rather endearing. I noticed how he was no longer stuttering as much or acting as shy, and it made me wonder if we were getting closer. Now that I really thought about this, how do I feel about Ren? Like him. She definitely likes him. Okay, so I guess he was kind of cute and endearing in his own way. Ren was very considerate and attentive towards me today, which I really liked, and he even bought me a plushie without being asked. That instantly raises him a 4 out of 10 to a solid 7 out of 10. Ren certainly had boyfriend potential, but things were still too awkward between us for it to lead into that direction. But still, it was nice to think about. He was certainly nice to think about. Rolling onto my side, I hug the plushie closer to so I can be surrounded by his comforting scent and slowly drift to sleep. All right. Ah. Okay. Yes. And can log out of that right now. I will be back maybe in a good 30 minutes to play some Phasmophobia, but other than that, I will see you guys later. Good night.